Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky. I am a living Christ. I am the truth, the life, and the way. I'm no different than the essence, the spirit that was of Jesus of Nazareth. He was merely a man, like me, like you, and he lived a non-dualistic life, a life of truth, a life of what is in a fictitious, civilized idea, formulated life that we all know as intellectual hell. Now, the intellect, the conscious mind, is the antithesis of the subconscious mind. And both minds operate simultaneously in consciousness, and we have been traumatized, trained. We have been harmed by the forces of evil, of contradiction, of duality. That's what the civilized mind, the ego, is. It's a trained idea that is harbored in the consciousness of all broken, fallen men and women who have consented to their own debility, their own slavery. It's done by belief. It's done by contract. It's done by adhering to ideas that we formulate, but we don't fully understand. And so we are confused. We attempt to work out that confusion, and that attempt is a lifelong endeavor. We live, and we die. And we live again, and we die again. And we live and continue to that circle, that cycle of life and death until we understand. What do we understand? We understand ourselves. Now, to many of you, you cannot grasp what I've just said. Your intellectual mind, the mind that has been created by traumatic, satanic indoctrination as a child, when you're sent to school, and your mind is manipulated into a system of dualistic thought. That system becomes the very basis of your life, the foundation of your life, the principles of your life. But those principles are all dualistic in that they are opposing, and there's no clear-cut understanding of them by you. So you flounder about looking for clarity. looking for security, looking for pleasure while you invite pain. And that is the source of your life from your present birth until your death, until your release. You found your about, looking for liberation, for freedom, for clarity, and it eludes you. That's the nature of your life. I've just described it to you. Now you can accept the fact if you are open and not closed off. You do not try to argue by creating errors in definition to clutter up the mechanism of language in order not to see the essence that is behind all the illusions that you hold about yourself. For therein lies the truth, and it scares the hell out of most of you. So you hide behind words, behind ideas, behind beliefs, behind mysticism, outlandish beliefs that are beyond the scope of the physical life that you know, this three-dimensional life, this linear life, as perceived by the conscious mind. There is much you need to learn. The world is not what it appears to be. The world, in fact, is a world of illusion. Your illusions that are unexamined or clearly dispelled by you. I use the word spell. You see, the spell is a hypnotic trance. And all civilized believers, cult members, cultured, look at the word. It tells you that you're living in a spell. And what is a spell? An illusion. It's what is accepted in lieu of what is, of truth, of the creativeness, the energy of what is, of love, of understanding, of wholeness. That, in fact, is your life. You are civilized. And if you were civilized, you were tuned in to the debate last night between President Donald J. Trump and his opponent, Joseph Biden. Both are representatives of ideations, of satanic spells that control the lives of millions of people who are split from each other. That's the division of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Do you understand? Two fictional camps of thought, vying for your attention, vying for your subscription, vying for your membership. And what comes from that membership? Power, money, influence, tyranny, wars, conflict, eternal conflict, if not within yourself, If you belong to a group and adhere to groupthink, you accept the mantle of tyranny that applies to the group, and therefore you're in conflict. That's your life. That's what yesterday's satanic demonstration of a debate of two top contenders for the office of president. Who will control your minds? Who will control your lives? Who will control your wealth, your family? Who will control everything about you with your consent? You see, it's all a fiction. You give them power. You have the creative power of what is godliness. And they must hypnotize you into believing that you doubt yourself into believing you are a slave, a servant to them. They're your servant. You're not their servant. You are the God of your life. And you create government. And if you don't like it, uncreate government. Boycott it. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. Don't harm another in the name of government, as is being done in the riots throughout our country, the burning of property, the killing on the streets of our country. Those are all options offered to slaves who believe that they have no control, that they live in fear, and they believe in some mysterious authority to save them from themselves. That's called a civilized man or woman. That answers the makeup of most of you. You're hopeless. You're helpless. You're confused. You turn to drugs. You turn to alcohol. You turn to sex. You turn to any escape at all to avoid taking a look at yourselves. But that's exactly what you must do, is look at yourself and determine who you are and start living according to that determination. Stop living as slaves. Stop living as members of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. For that's a fiction, a satanic fiction which divides, which separates, which creates problems. And if you are a member, you accept that problem and make it your own. How dumb is that for you to go on living your life that way? You are beyond all that. You are the God, the creative force of your own life, and are responsible for all of your actions. But you refuse it. You elect instead to have others do your thinking for you. Take responsibility for your actions. To be treated as children. To have no responsibility. Look at the black community. They have been struggling for centuries to grow up, but have not been given the opportunity. And they are kept as children. Juvenile delinquents, if you will, because they're frustrated. They're not allowed to follow their destiny. So they're rebellious. They're death-oriented. No. Why? Because the color of their skin, or the makeup of their belief. But don't you understand? That's nothing more than the satanic constructions that are conditioned into young minds by schools, which separate and create these divisions and create the destiny of those who fall into the spell of intellectual determinations by outside sources. That follows you through life, and it will remain with you because of its inertia. That which is set into motion will continue until it is changed. But changed by what or by whom? It must be changed by you. You are the creator of your life, and therefore it is only your action that will change that life, that direction. And you do it. Will you do it? Since the beginning of time, civilized life has shown that it cannot be changed. Satanic rule is the factor. There have been many people who have come along, people, living men and women of truth. Most of them are unknown to you, but you all know Jesus of Nazareth. If you live here in the United States, in the Western world, that's mind control. You know nothing of the man. You know of the legend. You know of the myth created by others who were not him, but created a fictitious religion based in the belief of their agenda, their satanic agenda of Christianity. I come along, I, this simple man of truth, and upset the apple cart. I don't fit in. I am in this world of hell that you all participate in, but I am not of it. My energies are beyond the conflicting, dualistic energies of belief that rule your conscious intellect. Why? Because I live in the balance of my subconscious mind and my conscious intellect. So I must speak to you words that you understand, but you will argue. But you can't argue with me. You can't argue with the energy of truth, because I'm whole, holistic. I'm not fragmented like you. I don't base my existence on belief. I resonate with the truth of what is. And that leaves me beyond the pale of satanic harm. And I bring that to you. But you tune in to a debate, an argument, not unlike any argument held on the streets. And you see who is ruling you. Are they capable Are they worthy of your trust, of your putting your life in their hands? The debate showed you the falsity of your belief. I have been talking about boycott for many, many years. Boycott is merely the withholding of your own energy which supports such satanic activity. You don't resist evil, you merely withdraw your support of such evil. And you do it through your employment agreement. You withdraw your withholding. You get a full day's pay for a full day's work, thereby preventing the government from getting your money before you do. Once they have your money, they don't give a damn about you, because your energy is what they need in order to continue. But if you withdraw that energy, they die on the vine effortlessly, because they're all an illusion. There's no need to tune into a debate which divides your attention and makes you confused, and thereby hooks you into supporting one side or the other, creating a life of division, of conflict, of confusion. Boycott. Withdraw your support, and none of this is possible. And what happens? You become the source of your life. You understand who you truly are. You no longer doubt yourself. You take responsibility for your actions, and you take responsibility for your life. And that's what you're here for on earth. That's your only purpose. This place is a spiritual reform school. It takes many, many lives to matriculate from that horrid, dualistic, offensive, warring, factional divisions of imaginary conflicts that you have created for yourselves. Why do you want to continue living that way? There is a question for you all to respond to. Find out for yourself.